this is why I go back, and I made the comment earlier about I want to be pragmatic and I want to be practical about the way we approach this topic, and I think other topics as well. And it's this. I know we're all very emotional about, again, black kid, white cop. Forget the fact that he's off duty, but black kid, white cop.
Yeah.
And we're all emotional about the race issues, especially right now when there's so many things bubbling up in the world. So when we start from the beginning and we look at the charges that are laid, you got to ask it's based on the evidence. Now, both the Crown and the defense can really, and this is how law works, you have to argue the facts of evidence, not emotion, not what we think. And Judge DeLuca made that reference in the beginning of his opening statements, right?
Yeah.
That against the backdrop of what's going on in the world right now, like his job is to go based on the evidence. And I think when you look at the case and the matter of the case, you have to be able to lay charges that you can prove, because that's the issue. It's not proving what we think people will be emotional about. It's proving, based on the evidence, what's the most likely charge that we can get conviction on.
Yep.
And knowing the matters of the case, we know that the aggravated assault charge includes things like wounds, maims, disfigures. But you got to be able to prove when that happened within the timeline of this incident. And if you can't prove it within a certain timeline of that incident, there's got to be a backstep. And I think there's another charge that was missing. As you talked about, if the backdrop is assault, he can only rule on what's presented in front of him. I think there might have been a better chance to lay more of a assault with weapon,
which is the one that was missing,
which is the one that's in between assault and aggravated assault. I don't understand, and maybe I need to do a little bit more research, but I don't understand why that charge wasn't laid. Because you have and from a sentencing perspective, it's a higher sentence than assault.
Yeah.
So to me, there's a missing link here, and that's something that I'd like to look into a little bit more. But you're right. I think we need to look at, before we get emotional, let's take a step back and go, where did this case go sideways?
Yeah.
And one of those areas could have been in the charges that were laid to begin with.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it with Rashad Brooks. Right. Those charges, if that ends up going to trial as is, he's going to walk, because no one's going to find him guilty and give him life sentence.